Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we are doing some more JZX maintenance. If you know anything about this one, you know that I am not a fan of the exhaust. It is very, very loud. And even though this has the 3.9 gearing and it revs a little bit lower on highway speed, I am not a fan. Today we are going to be installing this HKS high power HKS high power silent exhaust. Silent high power? I don't remember the nomenclature, but it's here. Ordered this from CoreWorks. Super excited. Can't wait to install it. As you can see, I've already put the car up on ramps. I've already jacked up the rear end and I have my tools laid out for me. So I have my 3/8 Milwaukee gun, a spare 3/8 wrench. I have gloves, 2 pry bars. I have some seafoam deep creep. I already sprayed these onto all the bolts underneath, so it's been sitting about 44 for about 45 minutes now. Jacking up the car was a little bit of an issue since I drove it on the ramps first. There wasn't a lot of movement in the back, so watch out for that. But thankfully the car's raised up a little bit, and I'm going to grab an adjustable wrench and that should be it. So just for reference, this is what the car sounds like with the current exhaust right now. And then one last pro tip, before you start, try to wear hearing and eye protection, just because in my case, I'm laying down on my back, so things might fall down onto me. And then the hearing protection, because we are using power tools, so excessive loud noise and clanging, we don't want to do that. Protect your hearing. So we are going to be starting off with a 14 on each side. So I have my ratchet on one side, and then I have another 14 with on my gun, and we're gonna do it on there. So if you can see down there, we just took off our section 3, and then now we're working on our section 2, which is also 14 mil. And then the last bit, which is right there, your section 1, which is connected to your downpipe, all 14 mils. So take all those off. We just took off the whole section. So here's your section 1. This is right after the downpipe, your section 2, and your muffler, or your section 3. Using my BMW references because I'm originally a BMW guy, but happy to do this. Now, if you can look right here, there seems to be some sort of, I don't know, heat treatment, rubber gasket, JB Weld, whatever. I don't know. The previous owner, they put a lot of stuff into it, and I peeled it all off. Here is that last gasket. You can see all this stuff on there. Not a fan of that. Took that off. So next steps, we are going to unbox our exhaust. Okay, so the next part of the install, I bought out these extra jack stands. We're going to use that to support the pipes as we install everything. And thankfully, I have these little covers on here, so we're not going to get scratched. And then the other little tip, this sticker probably going to take off right there. But as we put on the pipes, we're going to wipe them down with isopropyl alcohol or acetone. That way that when you're installing, if you're not using gloves, in my case, or in a case where you're not using gloves, your fingers, the oil on them, it's going to print onto the exhaust, and as you turn the car and run the car, it's going to burn into the exhaust and it's going to be painted on there, or stuck on there, if you will. So we definitely don't want that, so we're going to wipe down our exhaust every section that we put on. All right. According to this diagram right here, your bolt setup should be like this. So you have one bolt, you have a washer, and then you're going to put it through, as you can see here, and then you're going to put it through the gasket and the other end, and then you're going to have another washer, a crush washer as such, and then you're going to put the bolt on the other end and secure it, and then you're going to do that on both sides, so for both holes all the way down. And this is the orientation exhaust, so you have your pipe going in first, and then you have the muffler end, so that should actually be flipped around, and then it should go in like that. So let's just do that right now. So this should be going like that, which makes sense because you have your square end here to your square end there. Again, I am not a professional mechanic, just doing this as a fun side gig. So you can see I am using my jack support here in order to assist with putting the pipe on, and now I don't have to hold anything, which is super duper nice. So we're gonna put these on loosely, and then we're gonna put the rest of the exhaust on, and then we're gonna tighten up at the end once we get our fitment correct. And I'm gonna skip this part because you don't need to see me bolting everything in. That should be pretty self-explanatory. So for this little rubber hook right here, I actually did have to do a little bit of wiggling. I ended up spraying some of that seafoam on there just to help get it through, but it's supported now. And you can see right here that everything is bolted in for the most part. Again, still keep it loose so you can make sure that everything fits and aligns with your bumper at the end. So after doing a little bit of research, I found out that this and that does not actually go together. So they do, but this rubber, or this tail hook right here, is actually hung on with 2 rubber O-rings. I didn't see anything in the packaging from HKS with the exception of these zip ties here, so I guess maybe that's what I'm supposed to use, but I'll have to do a little more research. I'm just going to finish installing the exhaust for now, and I will tighten everything up once I'm done. Okay, so everything is done for the most part. Exhaust is fitted up pretty decent. I wish it was a little more center line, but you know, maybe it could be the bumper too. But final check, everything is tightened down, and now we are gonna, well, clear that tool first, and then we're gonna do our first startup with the new HKS silent high power exhaust. Isn't poking out as much. It's actually tucked in a little bit. I'm not really concerned about that. Since a lot of the body panels are cracked already, so you can see here on the fender, front bumper has cracked paint everywhere. The end goal is going to be to put a new body kit on this. I was really looking at the Kazama Pro Drive just because it gives kind of that R34 vibe from up front, but you can see here the silent high power is engraved, and and it's actually really nice. It's much more refined than it used to be. Once the car warms up, I'm going to give you guys a couple revs. Okay, so after hearing that, I love this car so much more. A little quieter for sure, but it's definitely more refined, and I like that I can hear more turbo. I'm more of an intake guy now instead of exhaust noise. That's the end of the video for today. Thank you guys for watching. Please comment, like, subscribe. Stay safe.